Great. It's funny to think that our lives are built in phases. When you think about it, and you actually don't even realize that until you are done with that phase and you're on to the next phase, then you look back to your last phase and be like, oh yeah, definitely this was a phase in my life. And as Steve Jobs once said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You only connect the dots looking forward. And it's actually true. When you think about it on a perspective, you don't actually get a sense of regret until you are done with that thing. Most of the time in my life, I have these different phases when there was a day actually I was just sitting down thinking of myself and my own life, how the pattern of my life follows. And I was just like, wow, most of the times when I'm done with a phase, I feel a little bit of sense of regret in terms of one thing or the other, in terms of one perspective or the other. And I'm like, I don't realize that until I'm done with that thing actually, and I have nothing to go back and fix any of that. And that's when it just hit up, and I'm like, yeah, it's actually true. And so, how would I actually counter that thing? Because when I was just thinking, it's been a while, and if I'm to like categorize my life or my past memories as phases, majority of them have a little bit of sense of regret. It varies depending on the phase, but I actually do have a little bit of regret in some of them. So then I'm like, would I actually want to continue living that kind of life in which when I'm done with the phase, there's a percentage of regret I feel on that in that phase. And I'm feeling like if I had known I would have done this, or I would have done this, I would have done a little bit of this. So then I was sitting and I was thinking to myself, how? How can I actually get rid of that? How can I not have that sense of regret anymore? How can I be happy with every phase I passed? As humans, it's either we get stuck in the past and diminish our future, or get caught up in the future and skip the present moment. And we wonder why time flies so fast that we have missed a lot of things. We haven't realized a lot of things. And that is when we start to feel a sense of regret. So, how do I counterattack that regret? For me, what I think of is just number one, to be in the present moment. Number two is to realize that this is another phase of my life, and I would not get to understand it until I'm done with this phase. So why wouldn't I just make the best of this phase? And by moving forward, I can look back at this phase and connect dots and be happy with what I've done. Number three actually is for me not to get caught up in the future, not to think too much about the end goal, but rather to take it step by flipping step. And that's how I counterattack my regrets, and I feel much more present in the moment, and I throw away distractions. I'm actually currently experimenting this with this phase of my life. Since it was a couple of weeks ago, I got to realize that. So I'm making the most of this phase that I'm currently in, and I don't know of, since I cannot connect the dots right now. Until I'm done with this phase, that's when I can actually connect the dots. And I have nothing to say, so thank you for watching. I freaking love you guys, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.